Welcome back to another episode of Magical Insight with Luke Hillis. This is a show about tools, practices, and perspectives for expanding fulfillment in life. And the tool that I have to share with you today is going to live personal development events. This is one of my all-time favorite things to do for so many reasons. What I mean by going to a live personal development event, my first live personal development event was a Tony Robbins event called Unleash the Power Within. It costs like $600, $700. It's a 4-day event. That doesn't cover accommodation or anything. It's just the event ticket. And that was massively life transforming for me. I've been back to that event again, and I'm planning to go again within the next year. And I've been to another Tony Robbins event called Date with Destiny, which was an epic event. If you're new to personal development events and finance is at all a concern, I would not recommend Date with Destiny because it costs $5,000. And yes, I paid $5,000 to attend that event, and it was worth it. But if you haven't been to an event before, I'd recommend you go to Unleash the Power Within first, just to kind of like dip your toe in the water, because that's how, if that doesn't resonate with you, then probably Date with Destiny wouldn't either. But, the Unleash the Power Within really resonated with me, so that was a sign that Date with Destiny might as well. And then also, though, aside from Tony Robbins, there's also Brendon Burchard. That last name is Burchard. It's like Burchard, but it's Burchard. And he does awesome events too. The one that I would, he has a couple that I've been to. It's called High Performance Experience. I've been to that event twice. It's a 3-day live event. And also he has an event called Influencer, which is a training of how to be an influencer. Which if you're looking at my videos, don't judge the training, because I'm really doing hardly anything other than just throwing up a camera and talking. But I am doing something. And that's one value of going to an event like Influencer, is helps you get started. So anyway, I'm just saying that what I'm doing is not the pinnacle of what's taught at Influencer. It's just, getting started is the very beginning. So I've been to that event too, which was a great event. And the great thing about Brendon's events is that they're a lot less costly. His event tickets typically run at around $300. And then so far in my experience is, if you know someone who's going to the event, it's often easy to get like a bonus ticket. Like when I went to his event a few months ago, I brought like 5 friends, and none of them had to pay for tickets, basically. So I don't expect that. Maybe I don't know how or why that's been the case, but it has been. But even if you pay $300, that's an amazing price for the event. So let's talk about, like, why are these events even valuable? Like, what makes it worth it? If you spend, for example, with Unleash the Power Within, you spend, say, $700 on an event, a 4-day event, it's like $200 a day. Like, what makes it worth $200 a day? And what I would say is that it's not the days themselves that make it worth it. It's the impact that you get and you create in the event that then pays off over time. And not even necessarily a long period of time. It doesn't have to be over a lifetime. It can be, easily within a year, if not within a few months. So here. Well, let me tell you my story with this. I had this kind of inner sense that his event was going to be very powerful for me. And at that time in my life, I had my first job, and I was sort of like losing faith in my own ambitions. I had always been waiting until I was done in college before I felt like I could really live. And then once I finished being in college, I started working, and then I was waiting until I was going to be done working. And I'm like, wait a second, shoot. It just struck me that if I didn't really claim my life and who I wanted to be and how I wanted to feel now, the path that I was on was just going to inundate me with more and more responsibilities and more just, patterns and habits that weren't quite what I was wanting to create or be. So I went to this event, Unleash the Power Within, and it just, it awoke a beast inside of me. Or should I say, yeah, awoke is a good word, or it helped me unchain the beast. It helped me appreciate and recognize, the real spirit of who I am and free that in a way that really helped me live that in a daily way and helped me make major decisions. And the big decision that I made was that I had to go traveling in a major way. Months on end and real true freedom of travel. Like, I'm not going and doing school programs. It's not for work. I'm not going for like a spa or something. Like, I'm just traveling. I'm meeting people. I'm adventuring. I'm having ideas and pursuing them. So that's what I did. I took a 4-month travel journey through Australia and Europe that every day was just an expression of freedom. And it was truly life transforming for me and led to so many more things in my life. And I'm so grateful for that. I feel like I wouldn't be anywhere near as whole or complete if I hadn't done that. And that event, it woke up in me the sense of necessity to really live the life that I really wanted to live. And that has been hugely impactful. So how these events work, what's the difference between going to an event and listening to a book or reading a book or watching a video? Is that the event, there's a few things. The first is that you have immersion. And immersion is basically where you're not having a break from it to go back to your old patterns. Like, you're in it for 4 days. You're in it. And you don't have time to get back into your old patterns or ways. And you feel so high with each day that, it gets you from one day to the next, and then you just keep going. So you have like this marathon of another level of energy, another level of insight, another level of belief in yourself. And when you're in that for 4 whole days, it helps obliterate patterns in yourself that aren't useful, because you're not feeding the old patterns. You're existing in your new patterns, your resourceful patterns, your joyous patterns, your belief in self patterns for 4 days, and you're kind of starving the old patterns. And your old patterns, to some extent, will literally just, go away. Will just, die from that starvation and be replaced by the new patterns. So if that's freaky to you, well, I guess so. To me, that's what I'm really seeking, because I don't believe in my disempowering patterns. I believe in my empowering patterns, and these events help me really get rid of what I don't want and put in what I do want. That's the first thing, immersion. Now, the second element is that which is related but a little bit different, is there's an incredible energy at these events. These guys who run these events, they know how to do it and how to maintain a level of energy that is just phenomenal. These events are literally all day, like 12 hours long. And you might think, oh gosh, it's a 12-hour seminar for 4 days. That sounds awful. And I would agree with you based on what I usually think of a seminar as being. But it's not a seminar. It's a personal development event, and they know how to engage you and have you engage yourself and others, and in a way that keeps your energy up like the whole time. I will literally feel more energized at the end of one of those days than I did at the beginning or at the peak of a regular day. So it's culturing a new kind of energy. And when you're in that energetic state, you hear something and it just like integrates. You hear something and it integrates. Rather than like if you hear something normally and you're sort of disempowered and kind of lower energy, like you hear it and you're like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And then it doesn't integrate, not the same way. So in these events, it's just like mass integration for transformation. And every time I go to one of these events, I leave with some new set of habits that are, yes, because I learned something, but even more so because I got to a place in myself that I just found the reasons why. I found the necessity. I found the drive and the meaning. So, live personal events, Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, other people, I highly recommend you check them out and make good use of them. It's way more than just reading a book. It's way more than just the content. See you soon.